What's up, guys? Welcome back. We got R. Oh, and T.
And T.
I'm so sorry. But today we are going to do a voiceover on Malcolm Reed's famous competition barbecue pork ribs.
It's not technically voiceover. He's just going to be sitting here talking while I'm filming that. And he's tagging
Well, you have to pitch in as well.
Yeah, every now and then I will.
Okay.
Because I don't know much about barbecue.
Stay tuned.
Okay, let's get on with the video. Competition rib recipe by
Malcolm Reed, Killer Hogs Barbecue. Probably my all-time favorite guy. And also his rubs are awesome too.
If you watched our last video, you could see that was our favorite rub.
That's right. It was our favorite rub.
Beautiful St. Louis cut ribs here today, and I'm going
He's going to show us how to trim,
competition style. I know a lot of guys
season,
have been requesting
rub,
this one.
and cook these St. Louis style ribs.
So
and I'm just going to kind of tell all you guys, our friends, how to what he's doing.
Season it with the best ingredients and really baby it throughout that cooking process.
His first process, he's going to trim them up. He's going to trim the small bones off,
take them out of the
small end, and one bone. Usually there's one bone on the fat end down there that's kind of hangs out.
We'll take the
he's just squaring it up, making them look really pretty, and cutting the tips off.
And we do this by removing some of that rib.
It's not too difficult. I mean, anyone can do this. Then we're going to take the membrane off,
of course, we got to get that
which is a
membrane
little
off. It's
small
barrier,
piece of
so
membrane right there.
The end of a butter knife or a spoon,
stick a butter knife in
raise
there.
it up a little bit till you can get a finger under it.
Use a
and then
paper
grab some
towel,
paper towel
and it
just
won't
slowly
slip.
Peel it off.
And just
What's
peel it right
left,
off.
You want to just trim off with your
It's
knife.
pretty simple.
Any scraps of fat or any sinew that's still
They're
there.
beautiful.
Once we
What
get
a
the
glow
backs
up.
trimmed, we're going to flip them over.
You might have to trim there's usually a flap on the back.
Anything that doesn't look
You need to trim off. But
these two slabs right now.
these are so much fun to cook.
All we got to do is
Taya
get some
loves them.
seasoning on.
Ruby loves them.
So when I'm
We have
seasoning my
fun cooking them.
competition ribs, the first
Ruby
thing I
is
want to do
his.
is
I
get
don't
And he's
know
going
why.
to use a binder. It's just something to stick the rub.
Mustard, and you see I don't put much.
And we use
What
yellow
this does
mustard.
is it gives something
And it sticks
hard to
perfectly.
stick to.
It's got a little
That's
vinegar
all
in
it
there
is.
as
It's
well
just
to break
tacking it up,
down the
tacking
meat.
surface of these
And
ribs
it's
up
a little
so
bit
the
more
rubs
tender.
stick to it. We're not going to taste this. It's
But
not
you will
gonna
not
do
taste it
anything
at all,
to the
like you just
flavor at
said.
all. Now for the seasoning, of course, you can use any kind of rub you want.
He
There's
uses
all
a
kinds
light
of
layer
great
of
competition rubs out
spicy,
there, and I do use my products
more on the
when I
spicy
compete.
inside,
I've got
just
my
a light
first layer
layer.
is my hot rub because I
And
want a
we do the
spicy,
same thing.
savory layer.
And then we'll
You
put the
notice we're not
savory on
going
after.
super heavy.
For your
Because we're
binding,
gonna layer
we
on
use
another
a
sweet layer.
garlic
Once we get that
jalapeno.
on,
I use the
we're
Heath
kinda
Ross
loose and
garlic
tight again.
jalapeno.
Now
That's
I'm
my
gonna flip
first
it over
layer,
and do
a
the other
light-
side.
a very
When I
light
do comp
dusting.
ribs, I flip them a couple times. It just kind of helps.
Or
get that rub
Malcolm's.
worked in.
Either one, they're both good.
Don't forget the edges.
But
now we're doing the same thing. Little light coat of that hot and spicy rub.
just a light layer of the spicy stuff.
It's just working
And then you
that
come
seasoning
back,
in every time they come in contact with the board.
on the
Make it
second
stick
layer
to
with
the
the
meat,
savory
make
and
it
sweet
sweat a
stuff.
little bit. What we want to do now is we're going to put our layer of just
The barbecue rub from Malcolm is probably the best. I mean, it really
Once
is. It's
again,
the
we're
best
not
I've
going
ever
heavy.
had.
These ribs aren't getting packed. We just want to get a good even
Or
coat.
Heath Ross
About building layers.
pecan rub, but I like
Now we're gonna
Malcolm's
flip
better.
it
Or
back
Malcolm's
over.
better.
Same
See, I
thing,
didn't
a
really
light
like the
coat.
pecan rub.
They're
It was
always
too
regular
sweet for me.
rub.
It's pretty sweet, but
We're just
Malcolm's
lightly
it's
pat
got
them
a
in.
really
We're not rubbing
balanced
them, we're
taste
just
to
kinda
it.
tapping them. Works
perfect
that
mix
rub
of
into the
sweet,
meat. But now they
Yeah,
just
for
need to
sure.
sit here on the countertop
awesome.
and they need to rest for about an hour. Let those salts and those sugars.
He
start
said to let 'em
working
rest
on
for an
the meat,
hour,
start
but
pulling some of that moisture out.
I fire my
Let's get the smoker
pit
fired
up,
Now, when it
and
comes
within
to
20,
cooking
25
competition
minutes,
ribs, there's
my
all
ribs
kinds
are
of smokers
sweated
out
in,
there
and
that
I
see
just
on
put
the
'em on there.
competition trail. Today, I'm going to show you how I do them on my Gateway drum. Whether you're using a pellet grill, a stick burner, an old hickory, it doesn't matter. All of those smokers will work fine when it comes to cooking competition ribs, and you can follow this technique the same way. The first thing we're going to do is get us a basket full of lump charcoal going in our drum. It takes 2 wax cubes. We're just going to
Malcolm
light them
uses
up,
lump
and we're gonna
charcoal.
drop
I mean,
it
he doesn't
in.
all the time,
We're
but
going to control the drum.
I use the old school. I mean, the blue bag.
The barbecue guru, the CyberQ. I fell in love with this thing. When it comes to running a drum pit, you can't beat it. It holds it right there. I've just got my vents barely cracked just to let some air flow. And I've got that CyberQ set on 250. And I know
He's also got a CyberQ, which is an airflow device that keeps his barrel
a whole lot of wood on the drum.
at the exact same, I mean, within 10 degrees of that same temperature.
We're going to get our grate in place.
There's no checking the fire, nothing.
Comes up to temp.
He puts that in there, and
I've got
it
the
just works.
drum up to 250 degrees. So we got a little of that.
And he's running his at 250.
Smoke rolling. That's what you want
I
to
like
see.
mine a little
Just
hotter.
Get these ribs right on the pit.
Typically run it
We'll
at
lay 'em on there,
275.
Straighten them out. They're going to cook exactly how
So
you
Robbie
put them on.
typically
Now we're going to get
hangs
the
his
lid back
ribs
on.
while
We're going to keep
cooking
these
them.
ribs.
Yeah,
in
we'll
that
hang
cherry
ours on
smoke,
hooks,
keep 'em good,
and
have a little bit
we
to
can
keep
fit
them
more in the
rolling.
pit.
All right, our
I mean, we
comp
can do
ribs have
9
been
racks
on
at one
about
time,
30
but
minutes, and this is the point where I want to take a peek at them.
it's just all about the learning on this video.
I've got a spray bottle ready. I've just got a
That's
little
a
bit of water
spritzing
mixed
bottle.
with a little bit of apple juice in it. I don't want to go
Robbie
all sweet
forgot
on it because I
his.
don't want those sugars to
We're gonna
burn,
use
so I
parquet.
dilute it down.
Yeah, we're going to use
Let's take a look
parquet
at 'em.
tomorrow.
Parquet the spray.
See, they're starting to cook. We still got some good smoke going. They are getting a little bit dry, and so I'm
Does
just
a
going to go
little
ahead
bit
and
dry.
a little bit.
So
I
about
just got it on a
the
mist.
first,
I'm just
I don't
wetting
touch
up.
them at all. I
That's
don't
where
open the
I'm putting
grill
more
at all.
seasoning on right now. Just
At
to
least
get a
for an
little bit
hour.
of moisture in there.
Open it up,
Get
check
the
them.
lid
If
right
they're a little
back
dry,
on.
I'll spritz them
Don't
like
want
he
to
just
drop
did,
our pit temp.
just to
That
keep
guru's
them
gonna bounce
the
us
moisture
back.
in.
But
You don't want
remember,
them dry
whenever you go
at
in
all.
your pit, you're letting that heat out. It's going to be recovery time. It's going to be time added.
But like
All right,
you
we're
just
gonna
said,
check
every
out
time
our
you open your
ribs
pit,
once again.
the
It's
heat
been
comes
another
out,
30 minutes,
and the
so we're at
recovery
an
time
hour
to get the
total
heat back
so
up,
far.
it just takes
I'm just
forever.
going to take the lid off. Still looking good, but you can see they're
So
trying
the
to get a
less you
little
open
dry.
it,
That's
the
okay.
better. But
You
you
just
don't
want
want
to
to open it too
spots that
less
look
because they
dry.
can get dry.
We're just going to keep the
Yep.
lid on. You know, we're at an hour mark. 2 hours.
You don't want to be the guy that's watching this cook. Don't open it and watch it, open it and watch it.
Then it'll be time to start thinking about how we're going to wrap these comp style ribs. All right, it's been about 2 hours, and this is the point where we want to get these comp ribs wrapped up.
He says 2 hours.
So we're just
There's
gonna
no
take the lid off
time
here.
on
We're
cooking
going
like
to get one
smoking.
slab at a time.
What I go
Take
by
them over
is
to the aluminum foil we've
when I
got
can
set up.
touch that
See,
rub
we've got good color on
and it
them,
doesn't
good
come
bark.
off,
We're starting to get a little pullback.
that's
on
when
them.
I'll wrap them.
All right, to wrap, here's what we're going to do.
Or the
First,
certain
we're
color
gonna
I
use
like.
a richness
But you
of
don't want to
fat
wrap
in there.
them.
And I'm going to use some of this magic
If
blue
you
bottle. I
touch
know
the
you
ribs
guys
and
have
the
seen
rub
us
comes
use it
off,
for
don't wrap them
competitions.
because everything's going to
Just
fall
mark in
apart.
margarine. If you want to use butter, hey, that's fine. But you don't need a whole lot. We're just going to make
So he's using
3 good
parquet.
runs down the full, just like
Same
that.
thing Ty's
Now we
using
wanna
tomorrow,
put on about a
which I think she
quarter
just
cup
showed you.
brown sugar. And you just want to spread that over the butter.
And some light
then
brown
we've got
sugar.
a tablespoon of honey. We're going to drizzle
that
on.
too.
That looks right to me on that first one.
So we got a layer
Some for the
of
next
parquet,
slab.
some light
We
brown
gotta have that
sugar,
honey for the money.
and drizzled with
now
honey.
we're going meat down. Now
Going
here's the
brown
point
sugar.
where you can clean
Light.
up that
Meat
backside.
down.
See how we've got a couple
That's a
of
big
these
key.
little hanger-ons.
Bones up,
Little
meat
pieces
down.
Bones
of the
up.
fat that's
And
rendered
light brown
down. It's
sugar.
kind of cooked a little bit.
And it's gonna
We
tenderize
want
the meat
judges
once
to
he
eat
wraps
that,
it.
So go ahead and pick it off. We've
Pick
got
a
our
nice
rich
spongy.
element. We've got that margarine spread down, and we've got our sweet element, the brown sugar and the honey. We need some spice and we need some acidity now.
And you don't have to
That's
do
where I'm
this
gonna
part.
Use my vinegar sauce.
I don't
We're just going to drizzle this
ever
over the
pour
backside
barbecue
of these
sauce on
ribs.
it.
Right down
But
the middle.
he does on the barbecue sauce company.
Just like that. It's going to add
So
some
he's
moisture in there.
gotta throw that in there.
Spice
I don't
and the
add
acidity
any
from the
barbecue
vinegar
sauce
is gonna
to
melt
when I
and
wrap.
mix with that butter and
It's just your
sugar,
preference,
and it's really
what
going to
you
give
like
these ribs
to
a
do.
great
Yeah,
flavor.
if you like some.
Then we just close them up. Ready to go back on the pit.
I don't like
but I'm gonna
saucy
grab
ribs.
the
I
other
like
rack
them-
real quick. I wrap them this way so those bones
Butter,
that are sticking
brown
out
sugar,
get
and
2
honey,
layers
that's
of
it.
full. You got 1 layer over them.
3.
I'm going to bring that
Yep.
layer.
Amigos.
Really protects them right there.
Cheers.
Keeps that full from tearing. Let's get them back on the pit. You noticed I went meat down in the full, and that's how they're going right
Yeah,
back
you'll put
on
them back on
grill.
the,
meat down, bones up.
smoker.
We're gonna let them go like this. By
I
an
check
hour
them in
and 15
45
We
minutes.
need to be checking them.
And I check them with a
Still running
toothpick.
250 degrees. We're not
If you can
worried
stick
about
a
smoke at
toothpick
this
in 'em
point. It's all
and
about
pull it
temperature.
out smoothly
All right,
without
our
the
ribs have been
toothpick
rolling
jerking
for
any,
about an hour. I
they're
always
done.
like
But
to
it needs
check
to
them
go
no
in
matter
smoothly
what.
and
If it
out.
takes
Like,
an hour 15, hour and a half,
if you can
doesn't
think
matter.
of warm
Get
butter,
the slab off. We're gonna look at
put a
it.
toothpick in it and pull it
Let's
out.
open them up and see what we're working
That's
with
how it
here.
should be
You see we've got pull
when they're
back.
done.
You start seeing some disintegration on that.
And
membrane.
also
That's
pull
what I
back.
wanna
You see, pull back
I
away from the
guarantee
bones
you,
away from the meat.
This rack
That's
right
another
here is done.
sign.
I mean, they're flexing. That's what.
But you
want.
can't always go by pull
Just
back.
like that.
You go by
I know
tenderness
we
with a
need to get 'em
toothpick.
off. After about an hour, 250 on that drum, they're done. You go get that other rack.
It's one of the
off.
simpler things to
Now
do
we're
in
gonna check
barbecue
the
is,
second
is
rack.
smoked
Oh
pork
yeah, we've
ribs.
got disintegration on the big
And they're all-
bones. You wanna
everybody
see
likes them
that?
too.
When
It's-
we broke
it's a
down,
good-
we got great
thing
exposure
to
on the
cook.
edges of those ribs. flames. I just want to kind of feel what they
can be
feel
very
like when I
messy,
move the
too.
fuel. If they feel like
They
it's
can
gonna
get a little
break,
messy, but it's
another
fun
telltale
though.
sign. So when they come off the pit, I want to give them a little bit of
Perfect
a rest.
summer
I'm
meal.
talking, 15 minutes,
It
30
is.
minutes, just sitting out, Let them calm
Ruby
down.
even
Let the
likes
juices
them.
stay in
Yeah.
there. Stops that cooking process.
Ruby's
Which
Let
says
it
a lot.
cool off a little bit.
She's very
So now I'm just
picky.
going to make a full boat, and this is just an easy way.
Hey,
to
and
transfer
go watch
these
Ruby's
ribs
Crazy
back to the
Life.
smoker when we get ready to glaze them.
RUBIE.
I just tear off a sheet of foil about as long as you would when
What
you
a
wrap.
selfless
We're just
plug you
going to
just
fold it up
did.
into something that'll hold these ribs. I just like
So
to
this is
reinforce
another
it by folding
important
the
step,
edges a
too.
little bit. We're just going to turn it
He's
up,
making what he calls
make
a
an edge,
foil
just
boat.
like that. Right after
So once
our
the ribs
have
get
had
tender,
time to rest for about
they're
15
they're
minutes to
really,
a half hour,
they got a ton of
go ahead and
juice
get 'em
and
out
liquid
of
on
the
them.
foil. What I like
So
to
he's
do
gonna
is
take
just open
those,
it up
put them in the
and have
foil
something you can collect the
boat,
juice in. I've got just a
meat side up.
waste can here.
He's going to
set up.
dry
I'm
the
just
ribs out a
pouring the
little bit
juice
by
out.
putting them back on the smoker
Pour it
for
in a
10 to
bucket, whatever
15
you want,
minutes.
pan. Makes it a
But
little
you don't want to
easier
put them on
do
there too
with.
long
Now we can
Then
turn
they're
and
it
dry
super
everything. Yeah, they'll be super dry.
Just pick them up.
But see how
they're still smoking hot.
they're
not
really,
rusty.
I mean,
It's
they're
just a beautiful slab of
slimy.
ribs.
They'll be
We
messy.
call it a barbecue
Is it meat
update.
up
And that's
this time?
fine if you want
Vinegar
them
sauce
messy like
cooking down,
that.
the brown sugar, the way it coats them.
But,
That's what I want to see. Hey, if I'm a
we like
judge,
putting them
I
back
wanna
on the
eat these
smoker
right
for,
now.
I don't
But
know,
we're not
10
through
to,
with them yet. We
it
wanna
just
get a
depends
little
on how hot
glaze
your
on the
fire is.
outside. Really finish
it's
the
I
meat
say,
up,
sauce.
right?
I say 10 minutes
Sweet,
meat up.
spicy
Yeah.
sauce.
I say 10
what
minutes,
I've
you
done
better
is
check
I've
'em.
taken one part of
And he's
my
gonna-
vinegar sauce and mixed it with
what
3 parts
they call
of Kill
glazing.
Hog's
He's gonna
original
glaze
sauce.
these with
Makes
some
an awesome
sauce.
glaze. It's picking up some of that same
And
color.
it's
because
up
of
to
the-
anybody. I
the
don't
rub
do it,
that's
but
in the sauces. And I'm just going to gently
like I said, he
brush
owns a
it
barbecue
on, but just wanna
sauce
give it a
company and
light
all that.
coat.
He has to
It helps if you
sell
warm
his
the
product.
sauce up just a little bit. Paint the
like
bone
painting.
edges. It's going to
Yep.
make them shine. And I don't
In the
want really a
competition,
real
too, they'll
salty
take
rib.
Q-
That's why we're going
Q-tips
light. We've kinda got it turned
and
into
wipe
a
those
glaze.
bones
This is
free
gonna
of all the
tack
black
up
stuff.
when we put it back
And all the
on
black
drum
stuff
for a
is
little bit. It's gonna make an
blood
awesome
out of the bone
competition
marrow.
rib. I mean, that's amazing color.
And they
right
take
there.
Q-tips and
They
clean
need
them all
about
off.
15 more minutes to tighten up. To
But that's
let that
getting really
glaze sit,
particular.
Kind of cook it on. We don't want to serve it wet like this to the judge. So I'm going to get these over on the pit.
Yep,
Put the
don't
lid
serve it
on.
wet like this to the
About
judge.
15 more minutes. We're going to check them. I know they're going to be ready. We're going to take them off. It'll be time to cut them up. We see what we did today with these comp ribs. And I just want y'all to look at these ribs. These comp ribs turned out beautiful. I mean, I love that color. I mean, that's a mahogany color. It comes from
That is
the
a pretty
rub,
color.
from the glaze, from that cherry grillwood smoke
Mine
we put
always
on
seems to be a
Just
little
gonna
darker
flip
than
them
that,
over.
don't you?
And the reason why I flip them over is because you can see
Yeah,
the
flip them
bones
over-
where you need to make
flip
your
them over,
cuts. You just
meat
wanna
side
take your
down,
time, use a
and
good
always
knife,
put water or
go right
something on your
between
cutting
those
board
bones.
so
Makes a
your ribs
perfect
don't
cut
stick to it.
every time, nice and straight. Using a long blade
It's a lot
of knife
easier to cut
really
them
helps.
when they're
Even
meat side
cuts
down,
all the way through
'cause you can see
You're
the
not
bones.
sawing at them. You're just taking one swipe and going right down these
Pro
ribs.
advice.
So now we're going to flip them over. Oh man,
He's probably going to brush
Smoke
the edges
ring
of
you
them
can
with,
see on
with
them.
sauce.
We're not done yet though, because when we got ready to box these ribs for a judge, we would need a little more sauce on them. And what I
Yeah.
like to do is
Now,
just
this
kind
is
of
getting
take
pretty-
them one by one.
I mean,
and touch up that
this is
edge
comp
where
ribs.
that
He's gonna
judge
turn them
would
in,
bite.
so he's gonna
It
brush
locks
all the
moisture
sides.
in, and it makes a better looking rib in the box to have a little bit of light coat of sauce.
But when you're cooking in the
right on those
backyard,
edges.
there's no
So if
reason
I
to
was
do
gonna
that
pick some
at
of these
all.
ribs out
It's
for
really
the
getting
judges,
down
I
to
want
detail.
these
It
4 or
is, yeah.
5 right in the center there. Those good hearty ribs. They all have uniform thickness. This one's got my name on it.
Those look
Why don't you
awesome,
look
don't
at that? That is just beautiful. Got the edges sauced up.
I wish we had smell-o-vision
I mean, that is a magnificent
What?
rib. Now I'm going to try it
Smell-o-vision.
and just see how it tastes.
so I can smell it
Television
through
that you
the
can smell.
so I can smell it through the television.
It's tender.
And see, that's a
The
good
smokiness
bite.
from
Everything.
that cherry and a little bit of hickory wood
People want ribs to fall off the bone.
bites right through.
You want to be right in between of when you
That
pick
is
pick
awesome
it up,
rib.
it falls off the
You get a
bone.
little sweetness from
You don't
the
want that,
glaze,
but you want to be
but the
that
peppers
tender
and the seasonings
and take
from
one
those
good
rubs
bite out of
really
it.
come through, so it
it
balances
stays
it
in the
all
bone.
out. The rich as they can be, and they're juicy. I mean, all the way through.
Smell-o-vision.
And that is just
You like
an
smell-o-vision?
awesome rib. It's not overcooked. It's not mushy. The texture is
Gosh,
there.
I want a rib now.
And more importantly,
You can have one tomorrow.
you get a clean bone. And that's what you want when you're doing competition ribs. They shouldn't be falling apart. They
Don't
should
give the
have
bones
some
to your
texture
dogs.
to them, but the bones should come out clean. And that's what I want to see when I'm doing
Not falling
competition
apart.
style ribs.
Have a little
Thanks for
texture to
checking
them.
us out here at How to Barbecue Right today. Subscribe
Okay.
to our channel.
In
I'm
the
telling you,
video.
if you like
know when we put out
smoking
new
meats,
videos, we're
check
gonna put
out
them out
Killer
all year
Hogs,
long, as
rubs.
always. You can send
I
us
mean,
comments and
they
questions
are
on
awesome.
Facebook and Twitter. We
That's
try
the
to
end of the
answer
video.
all of them.
Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it.
Subscribe to our channel and give us a big thumbs up.
See you later from R and I didn't forget you.
And T. And someone get a patent for smell-o-vision. It's a really good idea.
We would love some smell-o-vision up in
That'd
here.
be awesome. Okay, see you next time.